All right. Welcome everyone to the Diaspora Drop Podcast Edition. We have a very special guest with us today, Wal Deng, all the way from Uganda, East Africa. A wonderful coach who has his hands all over the world and has really helped grow basketball in Africa with South Sudanese players specifically. Coach Wall is just a special guy, and him and his coaching staff, Coach Akech, who's not here with us today, just do a really good job of identifying players, working with them, and also helping them through life. You know, basketball is not just on court; it's off the court. Their character, who they are as people. So we want to welcome Coach Wall, who really has made an imprint on South Sudanese basketball. So, Coach, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry, for having me. I highly appreciate for inviting me into your podcast to share my thoughts and share my journey with the rest of the world. Highly appreciate. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. It's a blessing. You know, I've had the opportunity to coach all around Africa with you, and it's just, excuse me, it's fun. It's fun to coach the best African players. So, today we will talk a little bit about Khaman Maluach, a projected lottery pick who played at Duke, but he originates from South Sudan. Coach, can you paint the picture of where Kaman started? What is your relationship with him? How did he come to find out about basketball? What are some of the roots? And I want you to paint the picture of where did you first meet him? What stood out when you first saw him play? What are some early memories that you have of Kaman beginning to play basketball?
Yeah, Kaman Maluach, Kaman Madid Maluach. That is the full name. Kaman Madid Maluach Tungtuk. Yeah, so my first time to know about Kaman was from one of his cousins. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2020. So he was one of our players in the school where we coached, and he was part of our program, Solid Skills Sport Academy. Yeah, so he told us about his young cousin, which happened to be Kaman Maluaj, and at that time, uh, in here in Uganda, uh, we have a system of 3 terms. In 3 terms, a school is having 3 terms a year. So Kaman missed out 2 terms without going to school. And he told us about him. He was like, "You guys need to help out my cousin. He is now at home. He has 2 terms without going to school. He doesn't know basketball, but I believe with you guys, he will be something." Yeah. So we told him to bring him. So when he brought him to the school where we coach, when he brought him, we put him into to practice with the guys. So when I saw him running around with the kids, I told my colleague Coach Akej, I was like, this kid is going to be really good. Yeah, this kid is going to be something big. Yeah, he was totally raw, nothing at all. The only thing he knows was jump, stop, and dunk. If he's trying to lay up, he will just make a travel. No shooting, no footwork, just jump, stop, and dunk. So that's what he had all. And yeah, so that was my first time seeing Kaman. That was in 2019. That was my first time. Then along the way, COVID came in 2020, and that thing actually helped us because at that time there were no schools, so we were able to practice. There was a court that was most of the basketball courts, they were closed, but there was one court which was open, and that one court we utilized it so well. We used to practice like almost every day in a week. We go early morning at 6 a.m. We go early morning 6 a.m. We practice with the rest of the guys, including Kaman and everybody, and that was the time he became like something, like really something good. So when I saw he was improving, uh, At that time, we already had like two players at the NBA Academy Africa, and I remember I went to the NBA Academy Africa in January 2020 before COVID. So I went for tryout. I took some of our guys for tryout, and one of the boys was selected. So when I came back from there, I saw the NBA Academy Africa was really good at developing, and Coach Joe, one of my good friends, and also is a mentor to us. So and he's like a father to all the kids in the academy. So when I came back to Uganda in 2020, when we were practicing, and I saw Kaman was improving and everything, then I told him, Coach Joe, there is this kid. I think he can be good there at the academy. Then I remember Coach Joe telling me, at the moment there are no slots at the academy. There were only 24 slots at the time, and the 24 slots, you cannot recruit a player when there is no player has left, and at that time no player has already left the academy because of the COVID and all that, so there were no spots available. Yeah, so we kept talking, we kept communicating. I told, hey, Coach Joe, I know this kid, I want him to be there, and because of you, that's why I want him to be there, because he's going to develop under you, and you will be able to guide him. So we kept talking until 2021 came. When 2021 came, there was a new leadership in the NBA Academy. They brought a guy called Frank Tuare. He was the head of operation for NBA Africa, and he was in charge of the whole academy. So uh, they were trying to recruit players for the tryout for the NBA Academy. So when they were recruiting players, I told them, this kid is not going to come for the tryout, because I believe he's already, like, he deserves to be there. It's one of the qualities that the academy needs. And if he's going to come for the tryout, I will not send him, because I want him to be recruited straight up. Yeah, because he has the talent. It's not because he's good at the moment, but he has the talent in the which I see in him. So the discussion, we kept discussing until became April 2021. So there was a tryout. When I was sending him, we agreed that he was not going for tryout. He was going to get recruited. So his ticket was one-way ticket, no, not coming back to Kampala, just to remain there at the academy. Yeah. So when he went for the trial, when he went there, it was still COVID protocol. They were still observed, so they went under quarantine like 4 days, and those 4 days, after the 4 days, they had to uh, they had to they had to now step to the court for practice so that they can see what they have. So the first day of the practice, I remember Coach Joe texted me. I was like, "Hey man, this kid is going to make you guys proud. This kid is, yeah, he has something." Then I told him, "Yes, coach. I've been telling you about this kid. When we're here, I've been telling you that this kid is special." Yeah, so that's how Kaman ended up at the NBA Academy.
That's amazing. And so when you think about the academy, NBA Academy Africa, which is in Sali, Senegal, what do you think Kaman gained from that experience? He played with Thierry Serge Darlan. He played with Ruben Chinyelu, who was on the Florida National Championship team. He played with I'm forgetting some names. Khadim Rasul Mboop at BYU this year. Kamara just committed to Louisville. Who's my brother in Toronto? Um,
Yuri Chomche.
Ulrich Chomshe. So, what do you think he gained not only with that group of guys, but also with the coaching that he received at NBA Academy? How do you think he went to another level while he was playing in Senegal? They're traveling to the U.S., they're traveling to France, they're traveling they're playing in the BAL. They were elevate players. He played in the BAL. From that experience, that coaching, the structure, the discipline, the daily routine. What do you think Kaman gained, and how did you see him improve in that time?
Yeah, for Kaman, I remember the first week when he was at the academy. Uh, he called me. He was like, "Coach, I can't do anything. Like guys are picking rebounds over me. Guys are too strong." So that was his first thing when he called me. Was like, "Coach, things are not really good. Like because I can't even get a rebound." Then I told him there is nothing easy, so you have to find your way out of how to fight in because you're tall, and the other guys they're all your height mates, so you have to be able to compete. Yeah, so that was my message to him the first week when he went. Immediately after a month, they had a trip to Mexico. At that time, there was NBA Academy Games, and during the NBA Academy Games, I was watching the games online because I was in Uganda. So the first game I watched, Kaman did not do that much. So I talked to him the following day. He told me, coach, I'm not getting the ball and all this and all that. So I told him, uh, you know, you will not get the balls all the time. So what you need to do, you need to crash in. When they take the shot, make sure you go in for the rebound, and that's how you're going to get your points. So from there, the following day, they had a game, and he came up with a couple of points, like 10 points, and we spoke after. I was like, yeah, you see, you don't expect they're always going to give you passes, so you have to find a way for you to get your way out. So the honestly, the competition is hard within the academy, and the reason why Kaman became really good at the academy because everyone the in command position there was Urich, there was Ruben, so they play center all of them together. Then there was another guy called Emmanuel was also in the
Yeah.
same position. Then there was a guy called Aziz. There was another guy called Lamin. So all those guys were in the same position. So for you at the academy, for you to make the trip to make maybe to France or to the US, at that time they became 36 players. So they take only 12 players. So you have to compete based on your position, and based on that, he started competing hard and he earned his spot. So it was not given to him.
Yep.
So that's why he really became good because they had competition among themselves, and which made everybody to improve, not only Kaman but also the rest of the guys to get better. And him in 2022 playing in BAL in Cairo, I was there, and he wasn't doing that much. I remember a game he scored only 2 points, and the following game he started improving, getting blocks, getting rebounds. So those experiences of BAL playing as elevate player also helped him, and also of course going to the US and competing among the best schools in the country, the best prep schools. So that thing really helped him. And Kaman is a quick learner. He's a quick learner, and he doesn't back down. He doesn't fear nobody, and that's why he became really good. So his mentality and his competitiveness, I believe that is part of the reason why he has really become better in a short time.
I've seen Kaman get so much better. I saw him, I think, 2021 in Rwanda when I was working in Rwanda at the NBA Academy Showcase. So he wasn't on Elevate. He was just playing in the games. I remember he was just a tall, skinny.
Yeah.
Everybody said he's 15. He's 15. He's young, but he's good. He has a long ways to go, but he needs to keep working. Then each year I saw him, each year he kept getting a little bit better, a little bit better, and even what he did for City Oilers in the BAL, even playing on that stage, I think prepared him. South Sudan, if you don't know, has had some success, not some success, some real success in basketball. these past few years, the national team doing well in Afrobasket and even qualifying for the Olympics. And Kaman was a part of the Olympic team. Before we even get to Kaman, what has your national team meant to the country, meant to young basketball players that are of South Sudanese descent? I think for me, it's really important for young boys and girls to see their fellow country mates, the guys from the same village, the guys from the same tribe, the guys from the same country doing well. And for me, basketball unites, you know, no place is perfect. And so when everyone in one country can come together and have pride, even, you know, I'm living in Minnesota right now. Our South Sudanese, Nuni Amont, is in Minnesota a bit. So all of our guys were cheering on Nuni. What did it mean to you to see South Sudan doing what they did in the Olympics, even qualifying, how they did well in Afrobasket? I was there in Afrobasket. They're beating some of the teams that usually win Afrobasket. What does it mean to you as someone from South Sudan, but also to the young kids? Because I know you're training these kids every day. What does it mean for them to see South Sudan do well? Coach Lual, Coach Ajo coming to the court and giving them encouragement, and the next day they're looking on ESPN and they see them playing against LeBron James. What does that mean for you guys?
Yeah, with the national team, it is a big pride. The national team, it was a it was something really big back home in Juba, back home in South Sudan, and all everywhere in the world where you find South Sudanese, here in Uganda, in Kenya, in Egypt, you know, in Australia, in US, in Canada, in the UK. Everyone was so happy to see our flag being out there, because most of the time on the news, on the big international station like CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, is always negativity about South Sudan on the news. Bad headlines, war broke out, people died, this and that. But there was something good. People were talking about South Sudan, and there was a good sense of pride. Everyone was really happy, and regardless of the tribes that were playing, people, they were all united as one. And I remember during the games, they were putting screens like on the streets in Juba, and everybody's watching. Uh, the guys who are on the street in the market, so everyone is watching, and everyone knows a player in the team. So even when you go to Juba, you find stickers of players on these commercial cars on the street. So there is a basketball has really brought something. Is most especially the national team. Uh, has made people back home in South Sudan to know uh, basketball is something really good. Even some of my uncles now, they call me. They be like, "Hey, I want this kid to play basketball," and all that. So now they know the value of basketball, and all the credit goes to the national team, because it has opened the eyes of those people who didn't know about basketball, didn't know about the potential that we have regarding basketball. Because some of the people didn't know that we can actually play, we can represent the country in the highest level, and
Yeah,
playing against USA was really big. It was like a shock, like seeing the national team competing head to head with the US. People who we normally see on TV, and we see our countries playing against them, and also they're giving us respect. So that was something really good, and everybody was really proud about that moment. Yeah. So with the kids that we work with, now they have a goal. Everyone want to play in the national team to represent their country, and which is good if you work hard. And the best thing is one of the kids who always was with them is Kaman. So he's one of the kid that they can relate to. The kid who used to walk with them, eat with them together. They're seeing him on TV playing, so it gives them a lot. It has given them too much motivation, making them believe that anything is possible. Who knew that Kaman was going to play in the national team or going to play against LeBron James, Steph Curry, KD, and all the other big names? So with the kids we work with, Kaman, Kaman has inspired a lot of these kids, and everyone want to be like Kaman at the moment. I don't know if Kaman knows, but here on the ground, everyone want most of the kids they want to be like Kaman. Everywhere kid they will be texting me across South Sudan. Hey, I want to be the next Kaman. I'll be like, yeah, you keep working hard. Anything is possible. If Kaman can make it, then anyone can make it. So, so the national team has really brought so much proud to the nation, and that has brought a sense of unity and sense of belonging to a country. You know that you belong somewhere. At least we were representing Africa, and representing Africa. Everyone is talking about South Sudan in a good way now, not in a bad way. So it was really amazing.
And for me, it tells me that basketball is growing. And I think in the past, let me say 5 to 8 years, I've seen basketball grow in Africa. How do you think basketball in Africa has impacted the youth and people who are just aware? Now with the BAL, now people actually care about Afro basket. People are curious to see South Sudan. How well are they gonna continue? How well can they do? Every time you watch Kaman on TV, they mention that he played for South Sudan in the Olympics, and so he has a confidence about himself. What has how have you seen basketball in Africa grow, and what do you think the long term vision can be for Africa?
Yeah, for the last few years, as since I've been involved with basketball here in Africa, I've seen a lot of growth. I've been privileged to move to different countries within Africa, and I've seen the love of the game has really elevated to another level. And for let's say now the BAL, every team in Africa, they're trying to qualify to the BAL so that they can play, because BAL there is good payment. There is you will be seen on the ESPN and other big channels, Cano Plus and other big channels around the world. So that has also contributed to the growth of the game, and also kids all over Africa, they are moving everywhere. They are getting opportunities. Some of the kids are going to the NBA Academy. Some of the kids are going to Europe. Some of the kids they are going to USA, and they're supporting their families. And now families they see that this is another source of investment to their kids. If their kid can make it, they go to a good college, they get a good education, and they will be able to get a good job after and support their families, their communities, and their countries. So the game has really evolved, and it has really devolved. Uh, the number of the views, if you're watching, like this weekend, if you're watching BAL on YouTube, you will see the number of the people who are watching online. It's a big number, and that's why you can actually say that the game is really growing. Yeah.
No, to me it's beautiful, and even seeing courts being built and coaching clinics and all of the infrastructure for me is so amazing. So let's go back to Kaman. He played in the Olympics as a young man. That is not a something that everybody can say. He played in the Olympics. So how did you think he played in the Olympics? How do you think that helped his confidence? Because we talked about he did well fighting for his position at NBA Academy. Even to make it to certain tournaments, he had to beat out competition. Now he's doing that, but on a bigger stage in the Olympics. I thought he played well. He came in, did his job in the minutes that he was given, ran the floor, blocked shots, grabbed rebounds. He did the simple things very well. I want to talk about how do you think he did in the Olympics, and how did that help him shift to Duke?
Yeah, I believe Olympic has contributed something to Kaman's game in terms of confidence because he was playing against the best players in the world. These are the professionals. So it has really, though he did not get much playing time, but the time he has stepped on the floor, he was able to deliver what he could. And when I was watching him, I was seeing uh, he was playing with a lot of confidence, and that confidence helped him so much in Duke because in his heart he will say, if I can play against Anthony Davis, I can play against Joel Embiid. Those are the best centers. Jokic, yeah. Why not this student athlete? So that's what gave him. That's why he did well because if he did not play in the Olympic, his confidence was not going to be that big. Not only Olympic but also in the World Cup. Yeah, but I believe the Olympic has boosted his confidence much better. So the takeaway I've seen it is the confidence he has got from the Olympic.
I like that. And when you watch Kaman this year at Duke, what do you think set him apart? What do you think made him a top draft pick that now NBA teams are saying Khaman Maluach is a top 10 pick and he's not going to go past pick 10? You know, what do you think Kaman does that maybe as you know, South Sudanese are blessed with height. Kaman is tall. He knows how to block shots. He has good timing. He's growing. He's young. He's still growing into his body. We Everyone talks about, hey, is this guy going to be able to shoot the ball like a real stretch five? You have to think about that. You know, he may not do it a lot right now, but in the future he might be able to do that. Passing the ball, just doing a few different things. What makes Kaman that the average person doesn't see that makes Kaman special? What do you think Kaman Maluach does that makes him special?
Yeah, most particularly like in Duke, the good thing he has done in Duke, he protected the paint so well. Uh, he, he he was commanding the paint. It was his floor. It was his, and he was he was able to also guard the perimeter players like the guards and also the inside. He was switching quick. He was able to adjust when he's on the top. He's not just blown by quickly. So defensively, that's where he has really made his name, and that's why he's the top 10 uh, a lottery pick or top 10 lottery pick in this draft because of the defense he has shown during uh, during his season in Duke. So there's some things he hasn't done yet, which I know that he's capable of doing. Offensively, he didn't do that much because most of his basket during his season with Duke, they were lobs, they were alley hoops and all that pick and rolls. So and he was not being able to get. He was not shooting threes. He had like two threes in the whole season, and he's a good three-pointer shooter. So offensively, I believe he wasn't utilized so well offensively in Duke, but because he's a two-way player, Kaman is a two-way player, but in Duke he was just playing one way, and so the other offensive side of his, I believe he will be able to show it in the NBA. But with Duke, he was only playing defense, and which he really did well, and that's why he's one of the uh, top players in the draft.
What do you think um, NBA teams should know about Kaman as a person? I think it's very easy to talk about his game. He can run, he can dunk, he can block, he can do all that. That's why he's special on the court. But what should NBA teams know about Kaman before? He's coming from Africa. I think a lot of people don't understand, even in college, the transition that it takes to come to Africa. I think Kaman has done a great job transitioning to the U.S. The NBA Academy was an amazing experience. I've spent some time with Kaman at the academy. Great young man, just spending time, relaxed guy. What should teams know about Kaman as a person? Who is he? What makes him go? How do you understand him? I think that's very important for the organization that he's entering for his success. What should teams know about Kaman, the person, not the basketball player, the person?
Kaman, the person is a caring person. Is intelligent. Very smart. I, and he's a funny guy. So he's really funny. But the most important part, people don't really know much about him, is his smartness. He's very smart. He's a smart person, uh, and he's someone who socializes a lot with people. He's a quick learner. He knows so many languages. Yeah, he speak Luganda.
Aha,
He speak
Simanyi.
he speak Luganda fluently. Yeah, one day we were in a car. We were going for practice. So I told him to sit in front because of his legs, because he's tall.
Yeah,
So the driver is a Ugandan. He speak Luganda.
yeah,
So they were having a conversation with Kaman. They, no single English was there, and his accent was so fluent. I was so shocked that he knows how to speak Luganda so well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then also in Senegal, he was able to learn Wolof.
Wow.
Yeah, he was able to learn Wolof so well when he was playing with S Douanes of Senegal in
Yeah.
BAL. Yeah, he told me the coach doesn't know English, so the coach was majorly communicating
Wolof.
in Wolof and French. So he was able to understand everything and all that. Apart from that, he speak his mother tongue, which is Dinka. He speak English, of course.
Sure.
He speak small Arabic because he did not grow so much in Arabic speaking country, but
Yeah.
he also knows the small Arabic. But he's a quick learner. What I can say, he's always interested to learn things so fast. So that is apart from his basketball side. So off court, he's a smart person. He's a
Yep.
someone who likes socializing, someone who wants to learn. Yeah, so that's what NBA team need to know about him. He's also a caring person.
What do you think Kaman represents with this new generation of African players? We talked about the game growing, and now I think we will start to see a wave of younger African players now shifting into the spotlight. How is this generation different than maybe the Joel Embiids and the Pascal Siakams? As the next wave of young African players that are now representing Africa on the big stage.
Yeah, I think Kaman is a sign of hope for the hopeless. He represents the people who have no hope in life, and people who don't imagine what their life can turn out in a short time. So because where he came from and where he is at the moment is it's like sometimes I see it, it's like unreal, and that one is a big motivation to every kid on the continent, making them believe that anything is possible. It doesn't matter where you are, but it matter how dedicated you are, and there is something I always say: if you're good, they will always find you. Whether you're in the village or you're where there is no network, they will still find you. So Kaman is one of those kids. Is one of those kids in Africa who represent a big hope to the rest of the other kids on the continent. making them believe that anything is possible. Yeah, you do your best and leave the rest to God.
Amen. That's the truth. Amen. So, what do you think, us as, me and Wal, we coach as well. What do you think is our responsibility as coaches, as elder Africans, to help these young people and bridge the gap and let people know about what's going on in Africa? What can we do in Africa to continue to help grow?
Yeah, our job is to empower with what we can. Uh, Sometimes there is a saying is you don't need to be rich, you don't need to be famous to make a change in your community or in your country. So for us, our responsibility is to guide these young men, is to empower them with what we have and what we can with the little we have, and we have to guide them in the right direction, and keep developing them, keep spreading uh, the words of togetherness. Where it doesn't matter which country you come from, we all represent Africa, and and that's the most important thing. Because if we keep isolating ourselves, we will not go forward. So together forward as African players, or as African coaches and mentors, we have to really to unite and work for the common good of our athletes, or common goods of the next generation that is coming up. So we have a vital role to play by guiding these kids, empowering them, and just show them the right way.
Man, that's beautiful. Can you give us a explanation on solid skills and just your program with Coach Ketch and some of the young men that you have impacted? What are you guys about? What is it for those who don't know?
Yeah, Solid Skill Sport Academy is a player development program that used to empower uh, the athletes to get to the next level. Like majorly, when we started the program, is to create opportunities within Uganda by making them to get a scholarship within the country and overseas. But majorly, the major role is developing and empowering young athletes to achieve their dream or to reach their full potential. Yeah, so Solid Skill has done a lot of work. We are blessed that we have touched a lot of lives, and many kids have gotten bigger opportunities. The good thing, some of them, people normally talk about Kaman, but Kaman is not the only one. It's just that is on the most of the uh, on the spotlight at the moment. But we have a lot of kids in college basketball. We have one of the guys, as you know, called Mobile. He has committed to Arizona recently. We also have another guy in San Diego State. We have in Jacksonville. We have in Western North Carolina University. We have in Sacramento State. Yeah, and then we also have other players in Europe and in Asia that are pursuing their basketball journeys, their dreams. So Solid Skill, it has opened so many doors for a lot of kids to be where they are at the moment. So we are proud of what we have done, and yeah, the marathon continue. So we still pushing. We are not satisfied with. We don't say like now we have two kids, or if Kaman make it to the NBA, then the job is done. No. And what make it most special for the program to be much interesting, every year we have kids getting opportunities, either going to the MBA Academy or going to US in high schools, or going to Asia for universities, or going to Europe for some of the big academies in Europe. So solid skill has really changed a lot of lives, and that is the program is about. It's changing lives and continue changing lives for our athletes.
Man, thank you, Coach. I'll make sure to add your Instagram, Solid Skills, and you in the description of this video. And if you guys are listening on the podcast, Solid Skills Sports, is that the Instagram? Making sure that we have it. Is that correct, Coach?
Yeah, Solid Skill Sport Academy.
Perfect. We'll make sure to add that. But Coach, thank you for joining us. This is our first podcast on Diaspora Drop. African basketball is growing. It's a movement. And I think it's important that we know the important people a part of this movement. Coach Wal is one of those people that you may not know, right, on the surface. But once you get to really dig in and deep into African basketball, he's one of the most important people here, making change, really empowering these young men. So for me, it was important to bring him on our platform and to give us a look inside the window of South Sudanese basketball, African basketball. And so when you see the next South Sudanese young player, don't be surprised if he came from Solid Skills.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, Coach. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me to share my story and my journey on what I do with solid skill, and also I also do scouting. Yeah, I also
Yep.
do scouting for different organizations, not only for solid skill but scout for all over Africa, for the kids to get opportunities. Yeah,
Coach, Coach, thank you so much, and we'll keep this thing going. We'll always have you back on the podcast.
yeah. Thank you, thank you.
All right.